All right, hello everyone. Here we are, hole number 9 here that we're setting up for. Now, this is going to be another hole which is helpful for curl, but I am going to just use a Thor's hammer because it is going to have potential with the wind that they give us. So because the wind isn't too bad, we're just going to go ahead, jump in here. We're going to be able to, what's nice about this is we'll just be able to max out our curl, which with a POC, you'll actually have to kind of scale your curl to kind of a specific number. So you'll find it a little bit easier, potentially, with the Thor's hammer than you will with the APOC. Now what I'm going to try to do is feed it over into this right-hand side with winds like this. Same way that I would play this hole in Tour. If I got a wind like this, all I'm going to try to do is try to get it as much into this. And as I mentioned, with a wind in this direction, it's pretty much going to be max Thor. We'll still get over there. In other winds, if the wind was pointed the other direction, you would need a POC to get it over in that little area over there. So it's very tough to get it over there. But with the help of the wind and secondary wind effect, we'll be able to get Thor's hammer over here. So here you can see my opponent almost overcurled it. It's very, very close. Very, very close. So, that's what you'll want to try to stay away from. So let's take a look here. It should be a very, very... Now, I won't have to use the wind direction if it's a side wind because it should just give me the very, very close to the same amount of rings as a side wind. Now what I'm thinking is somewhere maybe around here, and you'll see that I'll need to get somewhat aggressive with the edge, maybe about 2 rings from the edge. So 7.5 rings right around here. Perfect ball. And as I mentioned, we're just going to try to maximize that curl that we do. And you'll see that we can just kind of easily put it into the center of the fairway. I used very, very little power, overpower, maybe half a ring to 1 ring of overpower. And you can see with where it positions. So it looks pretty good. You can actually see, wow, my opponent almost kind of got out of range here. That really made things a little bit harder with, not taking advantage of that drive and getting it up there a little bit farther. So you'll see that kind of taking advantage of this fairway has its definite benefits. Now, it won't be something that you need to bring power 4 balls for or anything, as you can see with a Kingmaker and Thor's hammer, using only a 232 without... I wasn't even using a ton of topspin, maybe 5 or 6 bars, which you could easily do with a 5. You could get very, very close to that with a Thor's 4 with just a little bit of overpower. So it shouldn't matter too much, and you can see that I'm going to be much more in range. It's also going to be just slightly uphill. I'm thinking maybe minus 5% or so. Somewhere in here, we're going to be pulling away from max, so I'm going to do that with my slider. Aside from that, we're going to try to do some ball guide offset. I'm thinking somewhere in the effects of this. 13.7. It looks like it may just be coming in just a tiny bit hot. Might just be just a tiny bit over correction as well. So maybe my percentage just a little bit off. Another thing, it is uphill. So, 0.7 rings, potentially, a little bit better. And also I mentioned, slider positioning, especially pulling back away from max, could just be a little bit less than that as well. You got to keep in mind that the sniper range is only 20 yards. So, there's quite often times that you might start at max and you'll be pulling down to 20% club. on tailwind situations. Like it can very easily happen because the range is only 20 full yards. So on a 15 wind, you might start at max, and if it's a tailwind, you might pull down a 20% club, trying to adjust, 15, 16, 17 rings is going to be almost the full range of the entire club. So, at least that gives you guys a nice starting point. You'll be able to play around and just kind of tweak that ball guide the way that you want it. Good luck with your rounds. Let me know how it goes, and be on the lookout for guide number 2 coming up.